School's back in session. Help us protect your rights as parents and the well-being of your children. So take our Protect Student survey and share your thoughts on the impact of the LGBTQ ideology that's being pushed through our schools to indoctrinate our children. Take the survey so we can better equip and educate all parents and pastors and policymakers so that they can push back against this agenda. So to take the survey, simply text the word survey to 67742. That's 67742, the word survey. While many Americans enjoyed a restful Labor Day weekend, there were those still grieving, recovering, and working to rebuild their lives in the devastating wake of the hurricane that recently came across Florida and Georgia and South Carolina. Thankfully, many of them have not been alone. Helping them physically, emotionally, and spiritually has been Samaritan's Purse, which was among the first, as usual, on the ground to provide assistance. Joining me now with an update from the ground is in Perry, Florida, is Bruce Poss. He is Director of North American Missions at Samaritan's Purse. Bruce, welcome to Washington Watch. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Tony. Good to be with you.
So you're on the ground there. Give our viewers, our listeners, kind of the scope of the devastation that was left in the wake of this hurricane.
So the hurricane came ashore in the Big Bend area, which is the strongest that's been in 125 years to hit this area. Along the coast where we are in Pasco County, we're dealing with storm surge. Flooding in those homes. Even the local residents didn't realize that their neighbors had been flooded. And then here a little further inland in Taylor County in Perry, we're seeing very large trees that have come down, and our volunteers are out just trying to take care of those trees. There have been some that have pierced through the roof, and so we're trying to get tarps on those houses there. But we are, and then we're setting up today in Valdosta, Georgia, which is even further inland as the storm moved across. The same thing there. I was in Valdosta before and saw large trees there. It's about the same as it is here in Perry.
Does it seem to be widespread or is it concentrated?
It's along the path. It's it's widespread. It's just devastating here in Perry. We've already taken in over 300 requests for help. And so this is concentrated in that way. This is a more rural area than we saw back last year in Ian. And so, they're dealing with these large trees here in this area.
So how can folks that are watching, listening, number one, how can they be praying for the victims as well as the volunteers? And then secondly, how can they help?
So we certainly ask that you do pray for these homeowners and these volunteers. The first work order that we had here in Perry was a man named Kevin that he's 100% disabled and was trapped in his home. And our teams went out on the first day on Friday afternoon, and they cleared just a walk path to Kevin's home. His mother, he lives in the back of his mother's property, and so he had been without any contact with anyone outside. When our teams made that walk path to his house the first day, he told our team lead, he said, I drank my last bottle of water this morning. And so the team was able to get to Kevin and to get water to him. All of our team members had taken water for themselves into that job, and they gave their water over to Kevin for him to get there. His mom was just in tears as she watched him walk out for the first time the next day as we cleared a path for a vehicle to get back in case he needed ambulance service. But she just cried. He's 50 years old, but he's still her baby. And so as she walked out, she says, "That's my son," and was just thrilled to see him and to be reunited with him physically, to be able to touch him and hug him and make sure that he was all right. And so certainly we need to pray for people like Kevin. These people have been, most of them, without power here in this area, since the storm passed. We did receive power here at the church, so there's power coming back on incrementally. So pray as they are dealing with just the very hot temperatures hours, and the frustration of not having power and all those things that they need. And then we need people to come and to volunteer, to roll up their sleeves and help us to cut these trees and to get them off these houses. So the best way to do that is to go to SamaritansPurse.org, and there you'll find your way to where you can sign up to be a volunteer. And once you volunteer, you come to this area. We do a good job of taking care of our volunteers, giving you meals each day, and then to assign you to a team with someone that has done this before, knows what they're doing, and you can go out and be the hands and feet of Jesus by rolling up your sleeves and going out and helping these people in all of these areas.
All right. Well, Bruce, we're going to encourage folks to check that out, and if they can, volunteer, and if not, to give financially to Samaritan's Purse. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tony, for all your support.